Hey, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show. Thanks for tuning in to the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM. If you're interested in sponsoring my show, you can send me an email to the Mike Wagner Show at gmail.com, or you could also donate to the podcast. Just go to the Donate Listen site, and you can also donate whatever you like. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. For those who are interested, Anchor can give you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. We've got creation tools, allows you to record and edit podcasts so it sounds great, and they'll distribute the podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple, Google, many more. And you can make money from the podcast with no minimum listenership. So download the Anchor app for free or go to Anchor FM to get started.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show brings you famous celebrities and amazing people from all over the world. Listen online at themikewagnershow.com and on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And watch the interview on YouTube. So sit back and relax and enjoy the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and Apple. And we're also on Stitcher as well, too. You can check us out. And also on Breaker and podcast as well, too. You can take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device and subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. We're here with a wonderful lady from the Brooklyn, New York, New Jersey area. She's a Brooklyn-based singer-songwriter, and she had a debut smash in 2018 with the EP called Maria Immured, and also has released Madonna and a new single, Window Shopping, and a lot of it has based on a lot of chronicling influences, and her influences are amazing, from Hiatus Coyote to Fleetwood Mac, and we'll talk about more of the forces as well, too, and also some causes that she's leading in and what's leading up to music. So, ladies and gentlemen, live from beautiful Brooklyn, across the bridge, ladies and gentlemen, Lexi Todd. Lexi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Mike. Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Anytime. So you're based out of Brooklyn, and you're born in New Jersey, and you debuted in 2018 with the EP Maria Immured, and you also have some causes as well, too, that you support, and you also got a single that's coming up as well, too, and you're also working on an EP or an album as well, too. But first of all, tell us how you got started.
So I got started basically always having music in me. I mean, I don't really know where it came from. I'm not from a musical family, which people always ask me. Mm-hmm. But as soon as I could start to talk, I wanted to sing and perform and put on living room shows for everyone. Begged my parents for voice lessons from, I couldn't even remember these days, so they say. Mm-hmm. And then at 4 years old, finally started voice lessons. And that was kind of it. Music was always just the thing for me. It innately was in there. I sang in every choir you could get me in, choirs, a cappella groups. I played clarinet in the band and then bass clarinet. I was in band, South Jersey band, like the regional band, and then traveled internationally with band and choir. Did a little bit of musical theater, but that was never as much my thing as just regular choir. And then joined my first, rock band when I was a teenager, and it just has always been consistently a part of my life until pretty much I was an adult. And then I started struggling with societal norms, and what should I be doing versus what do I want to be doing? Because for me, music was the only thing ever. I never thought about anything else. Until finally I was an adult. It was time to go to college and figure out what I wanted to go for. And I always thought I would go for music. And then sort of had a panic moment when it was time to finally make a decision as to school. And so I canceled my music applications, started applying to schools for political science and philosophy, thought that was more practical, ended up going to school for those things, and simultaneously was in a band, and sort of just kind of had no direction for a little while. I ended up in law school because when you go to school for political science, that's kind of what you're pushed into. And then as soon as I got to law school, I realized, no, I really just want to go for music. Mm-hmm. But I was there. I had a full scholarship to law school, and that's what sort of was getting me my ticket to New York City, where I always wanted to live growing up in the Jersey Shore. And so I just did both. Finished law school, was in music, and then have been really going for it kind of late in the game since I graduated law school.
Mm-hmm. That was amazing, too. And what was the moment that got you into political science, and what was the other one as well, too? I'm trying to think.
Philosophy.
Philosophy, that's it. So I was just trying to think what was the moment that influenced, and what got you to take those two majors, classes, and everything else?
It's a great question. I can't say there is an exact thing. I've sort of always made decisions on the fly throughout my whole life. I was in AP Government and Politics my senior year of high school, and that was the first class that ever got me out of my daydream of music, that I thought, oh, I actually really dig this subject matter. That had never happened before, and I had never contemplated a world outside of music until that class. And that, I think, was the triggering point. Philosophy, I always fancied myself a philosopher, but didn't really know what it meant until I finally ended up in my first college philosophy course and loved it, luckily. But yeah, I think honestly, it was just taking that class, and then that class, not only did it expose me to political science and, politics and government, but it also, for the first time in my whole life, got me thinking of myself as an academic, because I was in all of the advanced and AP and honors classes and kind of just coasted. I went to public school in the Jersey Shore. It wasn't a bad school, but, it was easy for me. And I always was focused on music. So I never thought of myself as the smart person or the person that was capable of pursuing, more than just the music. And I think when I realized that, I had this panic moment of like, oh, I'm supposed to do something quote unquote practical with my life. Mm-hmm. And the combination of having no idea what else I wanted to do because I had never thought about it, and liking this one particular class in high school, I think that's what led me to now where I am as an attorney.
Mm-hmm. Amazing, too. And, of course, many of your songs are tied to justice, and also, with many of the movements, the various social movements. You can just talk about that and how it infuses into music. And also, you can answer that question, and you can talk about who are some of your favorite artists and singers that influenced you with your unique sound, along with the social movements and causes that you support.
Yeah, so with Maria Mjord, my first EP that I released now a year ago, pretty much almost to the day, I released it throughout the month of October of last year. That EP was very specific. I had a close friend that was in a very abusive relationship at the same time that a close family member was in a physically abusive relationship. And at the same time, I was coming to terms with the fact that a relationship that I had been in was very verbally abusive and toxic. And all of those things combined made me realize how, pervasive domestic abuse really is, and how it takes different forms. Both, physical is what people think of, but verbal abuse is really just as harmful. And couldn't help but write a lot of material about that. For a while, all I was writing about was kind of anger and pain, and I wanted to rid myself of that, but also rid my very close friend of that, who was going through this. And I was very much a middleman in her relationship. And so I wrote an EP from my perspective about her relationship, infused with my own experiences and the experiences of other women I knew that were in domestically violent relationships, and released it in October, which is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And that EP really meant a lot to me and my friend. And then we connected with the greater community about it. We, through this release event where all the profits went to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, which is the organization that really spearheads National Domestic Violence Month. And we hooked up with a bunch of women's organizations for that event. We held it at the Wow Cafe Theater, which is this historic women's theater in New York City. We combined with this production company, Experimental Bitch Presents, EBP, and they produce solely femme-focused art productions. And then I had this all-female spoken word collective, Building Bold, open for the show. And it was such a beautiful night where the community came together, and we really felt like voices of people who normally would not speak out could be heard. And with that EP, my whole goal is like literally lending my voice to the cause. Whereas, you always, as a musician that has a basis, has some causes that they support, you're always figuratively lending your voice to the cause. But here, because a trademark of so many survivors of domestic abuse is not being able to speak about it, by writing this EP and then performing these songs and constantly spreading the word, I was literally lending my voice to that cause. And then beyond the Maria Amor EP, I'm sure it's become clear that I am, a staunch supporter of female empowerment and women's rights in the music industry. It's tough as a female. It's not evolving as quickly as other industries, especially on the music side. I'm a music attorney by day. I'm an artist by night. And on the business side, it is still very much, don't take this the wrong way, but still very much a boys' club. And one thing that I'm very passionate about on a broader spectrum is just being a female perspective in a male-driven industry. And with Madonna, the single I released in July, that song is literally about that. That is about being a female in an industry of men telling me what I should say and what I should not say, and how I should sound and how I should dress and how I should say certain things in a meeting, and et cetera. And me saying, nope, screw that. I'll be my own person. Mm-hmm. And I think now I've sort of gotten a lot of that off my chest. I have released a lot of the sadder / angry material that I was writing for a very long period of time because I was feeling a lot of frustration and a lot of anger. And now I've sort of transitioned. I mean, literally I've transitioned in my life. I've been much more meditative and trying to take my mental health seriously and trying to get happy, which looks different for different people, especially as an indie artist. We usually put happiness last because we're chasing this dream, and it's a tough industry. Mm-hmm. So it's difficult to prioritize your happiness. And so I've been focusing on that. And with that, my material has become happier, has become lighter, has become more introspective. And I hadn't really had the confidence to release that after I first got out all of this other, all of these other emotions. And with window shopping, it marks a big change for me in being vulnerable and talking about a moment in time where my perspective shifted from a cycle of negativity to a cycle of positivity. And with that, I'm still a female voice and a female perspective and representing all of the causes that I feel confident and comfortable with, but I'm also pushing myself outside my comfort zone as a person to break down these walls that I've built up of being this strong, independent, powerful person, and showing that I too can be vulnerable and quiet and calm and peaceful and happy.
That is amazing as well too. And of course, another question before we get to your newest single as well too. And how many female music attorneys are there that you know of in the New York, New Jersey area?
I mean, there are a number. The entire community of music attorneys is actually pretty small. It's pretty tight knit. We're going to conferences together pretty frequently and interacting with each other quite a lot. I'm not going to say that there are two of them. Maybe it's a third of the attorneys that I interact with, but it's not so much how many attorneys there are as how many executives there are. There are very few female executives in the music industry, both within legal departments and outside, because many executives are attorneys. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, that still hasn't caught up.
Mm-hmm. And also, too, any chance of saying, like forming an association, record label, or taking your attorneyship to like a next level in terms of music?
Well, right now I'm focused on my artist career primarily. And so that's where the real focus is. I will always be an attorney, and I love music in general. I love the music business. I love being a musician. Right now, my real focus is just keeping the momentum going in my artist career.
Mm-hmm. That is amazing, too. We'll talk about your window shopping, classic in just a second. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition way. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and Apple. Also take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. And we're also on Stitcher as well, too. And you can also subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. We're here with singer and songwriter Lexi Todd, based out of the Brooklyn area and born in New Jersey. She had a debut EP in 2018 called Maria Immured, and she released a single back in 2019 of July called Madonna, which embraced the female energy and also therapeutic as well, too. And she also has a new single out called Window Shopping, which is taking place as well, too. And you can tell us about that and maybe perhaps just sing or so. It's a great Motown classic, by the way, too. I just forgot to mention it.
Yeah, so window shopping's fun because we're calling it, like a fresh take on a Motown classic soul, which is really fun because I'm in this sort of nebulous genre that's, it's neo soul, which combines a lot of things, right? It's old school soul, it's alternative R&B, it's more experimental sounds. And Madonna was very much leaning on the neo soul alternative R&B side of that spectrum, whereas Window Shopping is definitely pushed to the soul side. And I love the classic sound of it. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of the first song that I pushed myself lyrically to write something classic. And it's the first one that I finished and was like, I feel like that song's already a classic, not to toot my own horn, but I was like, wow, that song, I really did a good job capturing like the old school. Cause the lyrics are like borderline chordy, like window shopping on a sunny day, come home with nothing, but you don't gotta pay for the view. Plus I'm never empty handed with you. Right? Like, that's the cheesiest thing I've probably ever written, but people love it. And it really just has that nostalgic feeling at a show. It's the crowd favorite for sure, hands down. Everybody already knows the words, even though it's just being released, and it's easy to learn. The melody is, complex, but also simple enough that people can sing along. And I just get so happy performing it. I'm really excited to release it. I was just filming the music video all day today, and that's really exciting. It's very colorful and playful, which is new for me. Like I said before, I'm typically like the strong person. So It's been interesting matching up all of this new content with Window Shopping that has this old soul happy feeling, and pushing myself to show that side of myself has been really cool. I'm really excited to show everyone.
It sounds like you picked a good classic. It was done by the Jackson 5 and also a group called The Messengers. You picked a really good one.
I'm not sure what you're
No, I was just trying to say it's a Motown classic, and I said you picked a really good one.
Oh, thanks.
I know, I surprised you. Sorry, but I just say you just picked a really good one. And also, you're also you also lead a group called Chevy Lopez, which is an alternative R&B band, which you also play at night, too. So you can just tell us about that.
Sure. Yeah. So I'm also in this band, Chevy Lopez. That's the first band I joined was sort of a derivative of Chevy Lopez. Same members, guys I grew up with, really like brothers to me. They're always there for me. We have been performing now together, I want to say like 8 or 9 years. I think 6 or 7 of those have been Chevy Lopez. And yeah, in the summertime, we're really busy performing. We play half covers, half originals. We actually have a bunch of original content out. We released an album last summer and a few EPs as well. And that has been such a learning experience. I identify as a live performance artist, you know. I think a lot of people are either skilled at being in the studio and recording or live performance. A lot of people obviously want to be skilled in both, but I certainly identify as a live performance artist. And I think that's because I spent so many years playing hundreds and hundreds of gigs with Chevy Lopez. You know, I feel like through that experience, I learned my voice and how to speak in between songs and really captivate an audience and work with a difficult crowd and get people clapping and like all of those things that don't come that intuitively until you've done it with a lot of repetition. So Chevy Lopez has been amazing for that. And we just have so much fun. You know, we play long gigs. They're kind of tiring, but it's always a ton of fun.
Mm-hmm. And are you going to be going on tour with Chevy Lopez anytime soon? And any plans of touring for yourself as well, too, promoting your music?
Yeah, so Chevy Lopez, we're primarily just in the summer season. Every summer, we line up gigs up and down the East Coast. You know, we play beach bars primarily, and that's sort of, you know, our audience and our fan base is expecting us, you know, every summer. And then in the winter, I really focus on myself and my own solo career. Fun fact is that my backing band, most of the time, is usually the Chevy Lopez members. So when I said they're really there for me, they truly are. They've been really supportive of the whole process. We played South by Southwest for the first time last year and hope to do a big run of that again this year. And then I'm working with a new manager, and she has been pitching for a lot of summer festivals. So I'm hoping to get into a lot of the smaller summer festivals this summer and have a really good run of it with Lexi Todd. So I'm excited for that. That'd
be amazing, too. Looking forward to that, and keep us up to date. And we'll talk about some of your influences. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, Radio Public, iTunes, Google Play, and Apple. Also on Stitcher as well, too. You can check us out and take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device, and subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. We're here with singer-songwriter Lexi Todd, based out of the Brooklyn area, born in New Jersey. She debuted her EP, Maria Immured, in 2018, and also released the single Madonna as well, too, and her new single, Window Shopping, which going to be released very shortly, or in release right now as we speak here. So you've had some interesting influences from Hiatus, Coyote to Fleetwood Mac, and what's the inspiration by that, and who are some of your favorite artists that you enjoy growing up and becoming an influence in your sound?
Yeah, so I have been around the block. I've always been a music consumer, like listening to tons of music, always finding new artists. And I have really been heavily involved in every genre, just really sucking it all up, except for country. No offense there, but just never got super into country. But as a kid, I mean, you name it. Like, I was really into reggae. I'm from the beach. I'm from a beach town, so reggae is a huge thing. Mm-hmm. We all go to the same concerts together every summer. Like, I've seen Slightly Stoopid probably 8 times. Mm-hmm. At the Stone Pony every summer, which is a huge to-do for like all of the high schools on the Jersey Shore. With that, I was also really into ska and punk and rock. And then with voice lessons, I was super into, show tunes, also more classic pop sounds, singer-songwriters. I was really into Tracy Chapman for a very long time. My voice teacher introduced me to her. Eva Cassidy, which is a great singer-songwriter, was very heavily influenced by her. And then when I joined Chevy Lopez, which at the time was called something else, we together as a band really discovered like soul and R&B music. And, I had always listened to the classic soul, it's on the radio, and loved Motown, loved old school R&B and rhythm and blues music, anything in that genre, but had never actually kept up with contemporary R&B until we sort of all discovered it together. And from there, I pretty much only exclusively listened to contemporary R&B after that. And neo soul, that's when I got into like jazz pop and all of these new plays on old sounds. And that is still primarily what I listen to, and I'm influenced by, artists like, obviously, like Erykah Badu and Jill Scott and D'Angelo. And then contemporary artists like Moonchild and Hiatus Coyote and Emily King, I love. And that sound is super relevant now and super relevant for me and really inspires me. And I'm also kind of trying to do my own thing within that genre. Because I have all of these eclectic influences, I am kind of fusing them all together. There's a little bit of folk in there. There's a little bit of, old school soul in there. There's some new jazz sound, but then also in a pop format. And I think all of these interesting influences along my route, being heavily into reggae and then switching over to R&B and then going to ska concerts and then, listening to indie music, all have formed together to really influence my eclectic sound now.
Wow, that is amazing. It's hard for me to keep up. And just a few minutes here. And come to think of it, you've been through a lot here. You experienced a lot of music and genres and everything else. If you were to go back in time, what year would you live in and why?
Ooh, probably the mid-70s because I'm obsessed with classic rock, if I haven't mentioned that already, and would love to have been a Stevie Nicks or one of the women at the forefront of classic rock back when there really were no women. Would have loved to own that. And I love the style. I also hate social media, and I would love to have been born in a time where it was not a requisite part of being a musician.
And I think that does make a difference as well, too, although social media does make it a lot easier and everything else. And, of course, what's your ultimate music stage fantasy?
My ultimate what? Stage fantasy?
Yes.
Oh, I'd love to play Coachella. That'd be so fun. I would have loved to play at Woodstock. Maybe 75 is not the year I would have picked, but, anywhere within that decade beforehand as well. But no, I really would love to play a big stage festival and feel all of that energy. Even when I'm playing to 10 people, I feed off the crowd and I feed off the energy, and I feel like there's this special moment to get the opportunity to feed off the energy of that many people and then give it back is something I really would love.
That is amazing too. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Wow, that's a good question. I don't know. I would say probably my first voice teacher. Honestly, she really believed in me, and everyone else kind of just humored me when I told them music was my life and that's all I wanted to do. And she's the person that was like, no, you're extremely talented. I can push you to do so much more than this, and had me auditioning for things and singing really complicated material and sight singing. And I really owe a lot to her. Tracy Tylecki is her name. That
is amazing too. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
I think you just keep going for it. I'm not really one to give advice either, right? I'm still trying to make it. And what keeps me going is just keeping going. I think if you stop and think about it too hard, there's so much to psych yourself out about, and there's no one way to make it anymore. There are so many different ways that people are making it now that I think you just got to keep going, keep believing in yourself, and keep releasing content, keep the momentum going, keep doing interviews, keep performing. And, stay focused on you and your art.
That is wonderful advice, Lexi. Lexi Todd, Brooklyn-based singer, songwriter, born in New Jersey, with a couple of releases as well, too. And just want to say, Lexi, you've been fantastic today. We thank you for your time. Once again, before we go here, tell us about your upcoming projects, your website, how do people contact you, and where can people find your music?
Yeah, so I'm releasing my next original single, Window Shopping, on October 29th. You can find that on all music platforms. The music video will be out around the same time as well. You can catch that on YouTube. I'm at Lexi Todd Music on all of the stuff, LexiTodd.com. You can find me and follow me on my email list, where I send a lot of exclusive content out. So thank you so much, Mike, for having me.
That was amazing. And once again, Lexi Todd, thank you very much for your time. Looking forward to having you on again soon. And do everybody a favor, please keep us up to date.
Will do. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Listen online at themikewagnershow.com and on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And watch the interview on YouTube. Also, become a sponsor of the program and or donate today at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again tomorrow for another episode of The Mike Wagner Show.